2025 astrology, we haven't seen anything like it. And I was sitting here trying to think of the best way to introduce this information and this topic. And basically all I can say is that we are going to be accelerating. We are going to feel like life is happening at warp speed. There is going to be a lot of energies moving us forward into brand new chapters. And then thankfully, we will get a bit of a reprieve as well. Now, let me break it down for you, some of the major themes of 2025. First of all, and most importantly, all the outer planets are moving into new signs. They're moving into either fire or air signs. And I just want you to consider how monumental this is, because every planet moves at a different speed and a different rate. So Saturn, which takes about 29-30 years to move through the full zodiac, enters into Aries. We're going to see Uranus, which takes 84 years, enter into Gemini. Neptune, for the first time in our lives, moves into Aries as well. And then we're going to have, of course, Pluto, now fully in Aquarius, in 2025 until 2044. Chiron stays in Aries. So right there, you're gonna have 3 planets in Aries: Chiron, Saturn, Neptune. Uranus enters into Gemini. Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. Mercury is ruled by Gemini. The ideas, technology, solutions, innovations, information is going to be head spinning. And Uranus in Gemini is going to be drastically changing how we live our lives, our daily lives. And not just way out there, but how we move and what we do on a daily basis, including through transportation, communications, education, information. It's gonna get really, really crazy and also quite stimulating, overstimulating. With Neptune moving into Aries, starting a whole new cycle around the astrological wheel. It's going to be some really significant shifts that we can't fathom yet, but that we've been approaching. So in addition to each of these planets moving into fire or air signs, there's going to be opportunities to come back into the earth and water signs, which will allow us to calm, integrate, receive, understand, and give us a little bit of a break before 2026, when it's full blast ahead. So think of 2025 as moving on the on-ramp that's going to take us to new places. It's going to happen, obviously, much faster. And it's going to happen beyond our typical linear process. With Uranus in Gemini and Pluto in Aquarius, these energies move at a speed beyond our typical neurological processing. Okay, it's going to be like there's too much happening. There's too much information, the details, the data, the stuff going on. It's going to be difficult for our minds to rationally process at times. We're going to feel overstimulated. We're going to sense that there's just so much going on. It's sort of like there could be a feeling in your nervous system that you are buzzing and that you are vibrating at this whole other rate of speed. You're feeling more energies. We're going to need intentional grounding practices. We're going to need to really turn to our bodies, to listen to more of what we need, what we're feeling, how to support our physical selves through these increased energies and frequencies. And all of this is happening, of course, with the outer planets. Now we do have Jupiter entering Cancer. And this is going to be the self-care and nourishment. This is going to be a connection to what you feel, the heart space, being more receptive to understanding that it's okay to step away and take a break. In fact, I have to. Jupiter in Cancer is going to reveal how we cope, how we self-soothe, how we truly feel. And is where we're going to want not only breaks, but privacy and a sense of, I want to handle this or be in my own energy on my own. And there can be a joy here with this Jupiter in Cancer, a joy in going to your safe place, what feels good, you know, your favorite blanket, family recipes, Cancer being not only the home, but the kitchen, the living room. So anything you want to redecorate, redesign, a sense of connecting to your home base and your personal environment is strengthened. There's also here the possibility to open up to more heart-based connections. And we're gonna need that with all of this fast-moving, zingy, zany, Aries, Gemini, Aquarius energy. We're going to need genuine, authentic connections. That Cancer energy is personal, it's empathetic, it's a feeler. You could start to understand, well, this is where I go because it feels good. It gives me a reprieve from everything happening in the world. This Jupiter doesn't go into Cancer until June, but it is one of the major shifts in 2025. So another element here to stay aware of is that there's going to be a lot more desire for communications, information, social connections. These energies are very busy, very active. And you could feel inspired, you know, to go certain places, to try something different, try something new. This is great energy for your bucket list or for that, you know, one trip you always wanted to take or something that you wanted to try that's new and different. 2025 is going to open that up. It's going to open up new ways of living our lives, and they could come together quite quickly in a way that you're like, wow, I didn't think that could happen so easily. This also can result in faster manifestations, faster connections. The speed of life is going to feel like it's happening quickly, and I need time. I need time to process it. I need time to hit the brakes or press pause because it's all going so fast. So this is in the collective, okay? This is the collective energy. Now, each of these planets, again, it moves at its own pace and its own speed. And so as Saturn and Neptune enter Aries, they're going to move into Aries, and then each one moves back into Pisces. So it is basically sampling that next beginning or that new chapter. It could give you time to evaluate and sit with, does this resonate with me? Is this really what I want? And one thing that is important here about both Saturn and Neptune moving from Pisces into Aries is that there's a change in the planet that is better suited in that sign. So for example, Neptune in Pisces, where it's been since 2011, Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. So Neptune has been in the home energy, home sign. So this Neptune rules the Pisces influence, whereas Saturn is not at home in the dissolving, fluid, emotional energies of Pisces, where we're completing significant cycles. Saturn moves into Aries. Saturn takes charge in Aries. Saturn is strong in Aries. Neptune moves in to Aries. And now you have that Neptunian influence working with the desire to begin, let's go. You know, fast moving Aries wants to get the show on the road, and slow moving Neptune is hesitant, is like, I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if that feels right. And so then Saturn is going to feel more in charge and more commanding in Aries. So there's a switching of the energies here from Pisces into Aries, back into Pisces. And as planets complete their journey in Pisces, those are endings, voids, unknowns, openings. In fact, the final degrees of Pisces is about extinction, what no longer exists. And then the planets move in to Aries, which is about creation, creating what's new to start a new cycle. That's going to be a major theme in 2025. The Uranus and Gemini, as I mentioned, is very active, intelligent, fast-moving, too fast at times. And that Uranus is going to be conjunct Sedna at 0 degrees of Gemini, opening up ancient stories we didn't have enough information about, opening up more about the history of our planet. The bigger stories that humanity hasn't even touched on. Uranus conjunct Sedna is going to break that wide open. And because Sedna rules the ocean and the depths of the ocean, more coming up from the imprints and the hidden realms of the ocean, as well as you could even pinpoint Antarctica and the discoveries happening under the ice and on the earth, the bottom of the ocean as well. All of this is going to be part of what we're moving into here. So also in 2025, the nodes of fate move from Aries and Libra into Pisces and Virgo. And it's interesting because when they move from Aries into Pisces, they go to that Aries 0 degree point, the Aries point. And that's a significant astrological degree. And so we have that North Node in Aries at 0 degrees. And then we're going to see Saturn and Neptune at 0 degrees of Aries in 2025. So 3 significant cycles are hitting that 0 degrees Aries point, which is new creation, pure potential. You know, what do you want to start and begin next? And the North Node moving from Aries into Pisces is a return to listening more to what we're receiving, to allowing that Aries sense of self that's been cleared and reactivated through the North Node in Aries, now settling in, and it's a bit like just falling back into the ocean, a trust fall, if you will, and allowing something bigger to carry you as you surrender into the bigger energy streams. And so this can be an activation of spiritual gifts, intuition, psychic abilities, more things feeling energetically tuned in for you, like you feel like I'm sensing things in a whole new way. It's a strong activation here for those Pisces spiritual gifts. And then that North Node in Pisces is going to be conjunct Neptune 3 times, conjunct Saturn, conjunct a retrograde Venus. So we have some really clear themes emerging here in 2025, that we are going to be starting brand new chapters individually and collectively that we couldn't have fathomed previously. And I feel it as part of our collective consciousness now being more active and connected. Of course, greater responsibility around what we say, what we choose, what we do. But I feel it as the evolved human coming online. And when I think of this Uranus in Gemini and how it's going to be trining Pluto in Aquarius, it's uploading a new operating system, or downloading. It is upgrading the programming in the consciousness, in the collective, at an individual level. It's up-leveling us. So it's going to be a year of really big accelerations. And it's one thing to say it, and it's another thing to live it. And so it would be really important now to look at how you handle those big energies as they move us forward and require us to move forward. Because the self-care will be essential, the grounding, the ability to rest, to sleep, to turn off the mind, the ability to decompress, digital detox, or just to step away from what's too much is going to be important. And it's going to give us an opportunity to balance, so much of what's coming in that can also be really exciting, really creative, inspiring. Like this is where you could have some ideas coming through that you're like, finally, I see where this is going for me, or finally, I understand what this is. So it is going to be quite exciting as well. And we are beginning some big new chapters here on the planet, as well as in our individual personal lives. So 2025, a lot happening, a lot going on. I do discuss it more in my 2025 Soul Growth Astrology program that many of you love and you go through, because it's how you take the energies and look at what's going on in your own chart. But I just want to give you a heads up that, we're moving into new versions of ourselves that we've earned, that we've had to do a lot to get here. So if you can embrace the beginnings and embrace the new parts of yourself that are birthing and coming through, it would be a wonderful way to welcome in these next parts of your experience and to know that you're receiving them because your soul knows it's right on time. It's right on time for these energies on the planet. So I hope this has given you some good food for thought, as well as a heads up on what we're moving into. And as always, I will be sharing more here on my YouTube channel. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here. I hope this information continues to assist you, to guide you, and most importantly, to trust. Trust yourself and your path. I'll be back here soon.